Back here on the Columbia Cougars Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo, along with freshman player Ashley Fisher. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Now, you come to Columbia College, as I mentioned, freshman from the area. Obviously, a successful senior season for Harrisburg High School. Nothing like going undefeated and winning a state title. Take us through that a little bit, flashback to that senior season for you. I know that was exciting.
It was very exciting. You know, I love talking about this. It was an amazing experience for our entire team as well as the town, and we just had a really good time with it. You know, 31-0. It was a great ride through the season, and once it was over, I couldn't believe it, but I knew I was coming here to Columbia College and start another winning tradition here.
Well, I do remember when in the off-season time period of that, having a conversation, walking through the gym at one point and talking with Rod Kelly, broadcaster that does the webcast games, and he mentioned to me, he said, yeah, it looks like Ashley Fisher's coming here to play next year. I'm like, all right, here we go. Start the stable of new, because as we know from those first practices, there was a lot of new faces on the Columbia Cougar basketball team, with several of the girls that had been there before. Take us through a little bit about that early transition period of coming in and trying to meet all your teammates and figure out what your role was going to be.
Well, the first day I came in that I can remember, you know, all the girls were really friendly. They all introduced themselves to me, and I felt like it was going to be a good place for me to be. One of the first experiences I remember in one of our open gyms this summer is I kind of got a little taste of what college basketball was going to be like whenever I dribbled baseline, and Denise Rosario kind of took my feet out from under me and laid me flat out on the floor. It was kind of like, welcome to college. And
I kind of had an idea that story was going to end with a Denise Rosario at the other end with maybe an elbow or a backside turn towards there. But yeah, a little bit of a difference between, not that the high school level is not intense here in the state of Missouri, and at Harrisburg with a great tradition both on the boys and girls side. But it definitely a jump up for sure.
Yeah.
Now, talk about your relationship with head coach Mike Davis and your role, and we'll get him back up here to talk with you a little bit about this more, but obviously trying to find your way a little bit throughout the season. But what were you told was your role, and how have you felt that you've developed this year so far?
You know, I asked Coach Davis whenever I first came here if he played freshman, and he told me if they earned it, yes, and I liked that answer. And so, you know, I worked my way through everything, the practices, the open gyms, the weightlifting, and just decided I was going to work as hard as I possibly can to put myself in that position. And as practices went on, I kind of learned that I was going to be filling our 5 position and maybe a little bit of 3 as well. So he just told me to, you know, work on my shooting, work on my defense, and just try to keep on improving.
And here we go with the night last night against Hannibal, 18 points. Was that a season high for you, or have you beaten? I'm trying to remember that.
I'm not sure.
Not sure, which is not a bad thing to not necessarily know about the stats, but still, you know, you're definitely as a freshman finding your way through, and really so many different teammates of yours and players on this team. It seems like you're just coming in waves with the way that the coaching staff can bring different girls in off the bench, and everybody has a role in the success of the Cougars right now.
Right. You know, I like the way that everybody can come in and contribute something. You know, last night everybody on the bench played. You know, it's nice to be able to get the whole team in there, to be able to trust all your teammates to get whatever we need to get done. You know, it's just it's nice being at a place where everyone can play.
And it is strange sometimes, I have to admit, to be in the part of the press box for some of my job at games and look across to where most of your fan base is sitting there. And there's a lot of red a lot of times because they're coming straight from a Harrisburg event or whatever the case may be. And I have to stop and go, what's up with all the, okay, all right, that's the Fisher, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever it is, posse, I guess we'll call them, whatever, the family on hand to root you on. And several of the girls that are local, and there's an influx of new families and friends and everybody coming out to watch the games. I think that's exciting. It's got to be fun to be able to have a lot of your family and friends come and watch you play.
It is awesome. I love, you know, living 20 minutes away from home. That's one of the definite pluses of going here. You know, just being able to have all my fans from home come out and still support me, even though, you know, I'm not really part of the Harrisburg team anymore. I still feel part of the town because they're still all there to support me. I mean, one night I was out there a couple weeks ago, and I had a bunch of little, you know, 5th and 6th graders, or, you know, they're around that age, come out and support me. I come out after the game, and they're all sitting there chanting my name, and I turned red and smiled. But it was a lot of fun because I had done a basketball clinic for them last year. So
that comes with the small town of going 31-0 and having that state title, and that stuff is a lot of fun, obviously, with the kids there. And now you got to get them out to some Cougar games.
That's right.
Root them on out there at Southwell Complex. We're going to bring head coach Mike Davis back, talk a little more about Ashley Fisher and her role with the Columbia College Cougars. Again, currently number 17 in the NAIA Top 25 poll on a 12-game winning streak in the last few games in conference play. We'll have the coach back with us next here on the Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22.